talk to you for just a few minutes this morning about what gear you actually need to do streaming, for video streaming, for all video streaming. So let's just start. Um, the gear you're going to need. You're going to need a camera or more than one. You're going to need a microphone of some sort, lighting, some software, and then there's all these little extra pieces that you may or may not need. I love them, but hey, whatever. So let's start with the cameras. My favorite answer for this is that depends. Are you only doing live streaming? Are you only sitting in one spot, your own little studio in your home or your office? Do you need Ultra HD recording? Are you recording anything other to your laptop, to a card or an external drive or something like that? What about mobile recording? Do you ever go outside? Do you want to take your laptop and all the gear outside with you? If you're recording outside, are you doing any movement? There are all kinds of cameras for that as well. So let's just take a look at a few. One of the best cameras for non-mobile streaming, just sitting at a studio all the time, is this Logitech. This is actually the one I use as well. It's the 922X. It records in HD 1080p at 30 FPS and 720p at 60 FPS. And we'll talk about that FPS stuff here shortly in the course. It'll kind of help you understand a little bit more about what that's all about. In these, you actually can use them for Windows and Macs and Chrome OSs and Android and just about everything you can imagine, even your iPhone in some cases. Requires a little adapter, but it does work. It's got two built-in microphones on either side of it, but I prefer the external mic, which is what I'm using here. Yeah, there you go. And we'll talk a little bit about that coming up as well. This camera is pretty awesome as it has auto light detection. Now I have two lights on either side of me, but mainly I use those because of my glasses. Because if I don't use them, then I get the little tiny circles, that looks like I'm a little weirdo. Anyway, I get those, the bright orange eyes or yellow eyes or whatever they are. But with my lights, I don't get those. So that's why I use the external lights. But this does have auto light recording, so it'll kind of adjust to daylight, darkness, that kind of thing for you automatically, which is pretty darn special. Now, if you're talking about Ultra HD recording, active recording, you want to go, movement. Now, I'm not talking about movement in the sense of driving down the road. That's a different camera, okay? But movement in the sense of, my kids are playing tennis or whatever, and you're going to show that and record that. Then you're going to need a DSLR type camera. My favorite is the Canon M50. It has autofocus. It records up to 4K UHD in 24 megapixels, which is, incredible, right? They tell you can see a fly on a dog's ass or some ridiculous comment my husband says. It does have wireless internet as well, and it has automatic image transfer to the cloud, and then you can, retrieve it, pull it down on your computer and work with it there. That's a pretty damn special thing. Now that one runs somewhere around $500-600. It's pretty, pretty good investment, but it is a good investment for your business. The other motion type camera that I don't have here is the, I have one, GoPro, right? Those are really special for driving down the road. My husband records motorcycles driving down the road as he drives down the road on a motorcycle, that kind of thing. That is super, super action movies. And that is 4K. It is, to die for. It is the best video in the world. But it doesn't work so great sitting here on my on my monitor. And the reason is it is extremely wide angle. I don't need anything to make me any wider than I am, okay? Or see any wider around me. So I don't need that type of wide angle lens. It's I think they call it the fisheye. Now, I'm not a photographer, so I may be using some terms wrong, but it's got a very wide angle lens. It is great for using outside, watching your kids play tennis or swimming or whatever. That it is awesome for those. And it does transfer well to YouTube, believe it or not. It really does. So when you got that kind of action, you want a GoPro. GoPros are normally around $299, something like that. but for everyday stuff, they're not so great. So you may need more than one camera is all I'm saying. Now, this little Logitech camera that I showed you here, it's somewhere around, I think, $59, $89, depending on which one you get, something like that. It is under $100, okay? So if you're just starting out, stick with this one. You'll be fine, unless you definitely are going to be outside and moving, okay? So, microphones. There are two schools of thought. You know, the better the microphone, the more you're going to pay. The more you pay, the better the microphone, right? Probably the best out on the market right now is called the Blue Yeti. Now, they have versions of this from $99, which is, I think, the one you're seeing here, to, $5.99, right? But the $99 I found has been that they're really, it's a decent microphone. It works well. You really want to know about sound, you need to talk to my friend G over at Sandy D and G, and I'll talk more about them a little bit later on. But they're the sound people, man, let me tell you. I learned more about sound from them than I ever knew. So we'll talk a little bit more about them later. But a Blue Yeti, basically, the simple one, the $99 one, it has 3 condensers, 4 patterns, 16-bit, 48 kilohertz sample rate, which is really good. It has gain control, a mute button, a headphone output, and a headphone volume. And it is USB. Now, the cool thing about this, let me just tell you this. This is really cool because the first microphone I had did not have a headphone output jack. Now, right now I got on Bose headphones, right? And they're wireless and they do everything I need to do as far as sound is concerned. But there are times I need to hear myself. I can't hear myself through these Bose, okay? If I plugged a microphone in these, or I've got some Beats over here that do the same thing, and actually plugged it into the microphone, then I could actually hear what the output sounds like, right? I could hear what I'm saying. I could hear exactly what's going to my customers. That's what makes this one really, really cool, okay? And it is USB. I believe it is USB 3, just to be sure, but I'm pretty sure it's USB 3. Which is the smaller, newest USB out, right? But if you're just getting started, you don't want to pay quite that much. There's one for about $59, something like that, and it's the Mayano. I don't know how to say it, but I think it's Mayano. It does 192K sampling rate, 24-bit sampling rate, a little less than what, of course, the other one does. It is USB, just the plain USB. It works on a laptop, a PC, mobile phones with the adapter. It comes with a stand, a pop filter, and wind foam as well. And it's just a simple little microphone. Now, what doesn't it have? It does not have the the headphone jack or the headphone volume, okay? But it comes with the coolest carrying case. A little aluminum guy. I've got it over there across the room. I'll have to bring it over. But anyways, little aluminum guy is about this big, and everything fits in it. So if you're going to be going on the road, or you need an external microphone to take with you, you get better sound, that kind of thing, then you want this one as an addition to your basic microphone. Now, does it work okay? Yeah, I'm recording today on this one just to make sure that it still works really well. This was my first one, and just to make sure that it works really well, and it appears to be. So it's okay for your basic video, which is what I'm doing today. Okay, lighting. As I said, I have photography lighting mainly because I have glasses. And if I don't have my lighting on, watch what happens. Excuse me while I lean. Now, you'll notice that my camera, I'm using that Logitech 922. And you'll notice that my camera auto-adjusted. But now look at my glasses. See that green-looking stuff in there? Right? That drives me insane when I'm recording video. So instead, watch what happens when I turn on my lights. The green is gone. You see? So if you have those kind of problems around you, or, a different background or a dark background or something like that, then these are the best things in the world. They're called softbox. And they have 2 85-watt CFL bulbs, which is about 800 watts incandescent if you were going to, do regular light bulb types. So you got two 800 watts staring at you. They have little diffusers on top of them, which is why I can see. Otherwise, they'd be in my face, right? They do rotate. You see the difference in what I'm going here, right? And they come with a great carrying case or storage if you want to take them down every time. My office is in a room all by itself, but I've got tons of stuff in this office. So, while I can leave one of them up all the time, the other one's got to go somewhere. So I tend to take it down when I'm not recording video out of my way. Okay. Those run, I think, about, I want to say under 100, probably 79, 89, something like that. This depends on, what kind of specials they're running. But these are really great. And I'm going to put the links to all these down below so you can click on them and go see them. Keep in mind, they're all from Amazon, and I am an Amazon affiliate, so I do need to tell you that. You can also use ring lights. Now, I used ring lights in the beginning, but with the glasses, I had the same problem with a ring light. But many of you may be able to get away with just a ring light, okay? This one I'm showing you here is a 17.5-inch ring light, which is, pretty good size, right? Something like this. It comes on a tripod, a premium tripod. And it's got an incorporated touch panel as well as wireless control. It also has a holder for your phone to sit on, which is pretty darn special, right? So your phone or your camera could sit right in the middle of that ring, and that would really do well for you. Again, it does not work for me so much because of the glasses. Now, the good thing about the ring light is you'll see the circles over here have different colors, right? They got like a lighter and a darker type thing. Those work great. My diffusers are one color. Now, something simple I could do, I could take a yellow sheet or a green sheet or a blue sheet, something really thin like a poplin sheet, and lay over these to make them a different diffused, a little more diffused or a little less diffused. You can play around with it, but these have their own diffuser. It is simply white. It's like a soft white is all this is. And again, I'm going to leave you the links for these down below. Software. There are two free softwares that we're going to be using in this course. One of which is iMovie. iMovie comes with Macs and with iPhones and iPads, and you can truly work the iMovie on iPhones and on iPads. Although a little bit limited, it does most everything you'd need it to do. Even if you don't have a computer, you could use your phone or your tablet. Movavi is another free option. It's for PCs, and we'll be talking a little bit about that as well as we go through the course. Those are the two free options. Paid options, let me tell you, there are several that Adobe has. And if you're going to go Adobe, go ahead and go with the Creative Control. It is you get all the Adobe products for like $39 a month, something like that. It is awesome. You will love it. I'll give you a link below. It has all of the Adobe products. So you get Illustrator and Premiere and Adobe Reader and Writer and Photoshop and all of those things, right? Which is really a good deal. It truly is a good deal if you use a lot of Adobe products. Or you can buy the Adobe products separately. Adobe Premiere, Adobe Premiere Rush. Those are the two major ones that you would use for video. Adobe Audition is more for sound, for audio, but it works well with Adobe Premiere and Premiere Rush as well. Or it works by itself. So if you've also got a podcast, that's probably the way you want to go. Adobe After Effects helps you put, all those After Effects on things and makes the little lights and sparkles and animation, and there's just all kinds of things. You can also use Canva or PicMonkey to an extent in video. Now, as you see, I've got slides here. What I'm using is basically Keynote, which is the PowerPoint equivalent, right? You can use PowerPoint. And I'm using a software called Minicam, and we'll talk about that when we talk about that type of software. But Minicam allows me to have this, PowerPoint presentation behind me, right? So that I'm not just a talking head. I can show and tell some things, and that's really great in some instances. It helps you a lot with your presentation. Extra parts. Okay, some of the things that I think you really need: a microphone stand. It can either be the kind that sits on your desk, or if you're like me, where my desk is a disaster, I have this arm thing, right? And it extends out from the side and basically, comes right up to me and lets me adjust my microphone where it needs to go. Those suckers are cheap, man. They're like $29, something like that. In my opinion, you need at least one professional tripod. Now, I've got my camera sitting on top of my very large monitor. I think my monitor might be 40 inches, 30 inches. Anyway, that's where I've got mine sitting. That may not work for you. You may need to set it on a tripod. You need a professional tripod because I have another camera that I may want to set on a tripod right here to give me another angle, or over across the room where maybe I've got some crafting stuff going on, or making candles or something like that for my other website, right? So you want to think about that. You may actually need another camera. You may actually need another tripod that sits elsewhere, not just in front of me. Okay. And I recommend you get at least one. I think I paid $19 for mine, and it goes everywhere I go because you just never know when you need a tripod, right? A USB docking station. I think I talked about that in one of my other videos. Basically, this allows me to plug in my internet, my camera, my microphone, my phone, my charge other peripherals that I have, all of those kind of things. And it attaches to my computer, to my laptop, and all of those things can work at once because my laptop only has 2 USB ports on it, right? So that's just not going to work for me. So this is a little docking station that I use. Now there are several. I'll give you a few to choose from at various price ranges, but the best, of course, is the one that I show you in the other video, which is a little black thing about this big. And it's, I want to say $159. Now, I know that all of this sounds like, God, it's a lot of money. Well, yeah, you can invest a lot of money, but don't panic. You don't have to have it all. And you don't have to have it all day one, okay? Just keep that in mind. The next thing is the internet kits, and that's the other video that I am referring to. And basically, this makes your internet connection to your laptop a wired connection, which gives you a little more stable kind of connection, and your video doesn't fade or get funky or anything like that. Okay, it's a lot more stable, and I highly recommend those, and I will make sure that you see that video. I think it's might be right before this one. I also recommend that you have a laptop stand. The reason is, if you can bring your laptop up, right, to, something like this, then you could use your laptop camera as a secondary camera. Mine's kind of hard to see because it's way over there, but I might be able to show it to you. Let me see. Hi, here I am. But that's coming from my laptop camera, which is basically quite a ways away from me, right? And it's sitting up on a stand high enough so that it can reach, my view up here. And it helps a lot. Okay. So I think you need one of those. It also helps with cooling when your laptop starts heating up because you're using all these applications. And that does happen, believe me. You might also want to have a phone stand. This one was really inexpensive. I think $10 maybe. Let me see if I can pull it up over here. Can you see it? Yeah. This is it's a metal heavy duty stand, and my phone sits right there. It'll either sit up or it'll go sideways. My iPad will sit there. Any kind of peripherals like that, okay? They'll all sit right there. There you go. And it keeps it kind of out of the way, as well as it pulls it up off of your desk, because I am forever looking for my phone around my desk, right? Like right now. Here's my phone. And so this allows me to have my phone, right there standing up looking at me. It also can serve as an additional camera should I need one, right? So there you go. Like I said, you don't have to have all of these things. These are nice to have. But definitely I would get a microphone stand, and as soon as you can, I would get the USB docking, because I think it'll make a huge difference in your video. The rest of it, I don't mean USB docking, I apologize. I mean the internet kit. And the rest of it, get when you can or don't get. If you don't like it, if you don't need it, don't get it. It can be expensive, but I promise you, it is a slow process. You don't have to buy it all at once. Truth is, you can start with your webcam, apologize, on your laptop with no problem at all. So, those are just some of your options, and this will help you through, hopefully. I'm Annie Richardson with Annie Richardson Consulting, and I am your fairy blog mother for Blog Tech. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that it has helped you.